Eiju Rentaro achieved a Guinness World Record by being rejected by 100 women. Guided him to the power of Riz to finally have a soulmate. With the top G's blessing, he would be able to have 100 soulmates. In the entrance ceremony, he met Hanazono Hakari, a pink-haired woman with a ballistic compact, and Inda Karen who is flatter than the Great Plains. The top G's blessing worked, and the two clung to him like a monkey. Hakari confesses her feelings toward our boy. Fortunately, Karen arrives just in time. The competitive Karen confesses her feelings toward Rentaro, too. Now our boy is having a moral dilemma. He was forced to choose between the Great Plains and the Himalayas, so he went back to meet the top G to seek wisdom. The G told him that once he already decided who to choose, the remaining girlfriends would die due to severe lovesick. Our boy is indeed a man of culture. With his valiant act he decided to take the harem route to save them from suffering. Using the sad boy Riz technique, Hakari and Karen agreed on his terms, and so Eiju Rentaro's path to harem life began. The next day, our boy is on cloud 9 after getting his first girlfriends. Rentaro screamed like a mad virgin when Hakaru gave him his holding hands debut. Hakari got too excited due to the fact that they simply held hands while they were about to head to their school. Hakari wishes to have a call sign between our Giga Chad and her. Our hero, who is a believer of equality, gave Karen a call sign too. The moment they entered the campus, they saw the vice principal, who seemed to be chasing a student. The vice principal is notorious for being strict about school rules. We saw the vice principal with a soggy cocoa melon pressing the poor student against the wall. Her method of punishment is giving the delinquents a French kiss, which results in them PTSD. Escaping her sight is impossible because she's a former sprinter, so nobody has ever escaped her kiss attack. Speaking of kisses, Hakaru asked our boy like a chick in OnlyFans if he already kissed someone. An intense stare down happened between the two when they were informed that our boy had never kissed a girl before. Just like in any other rom-com anime, Rentaro and his girlfriends had their first lunch on the rooftop. Hakari uses F-cup melons to slap the hell out of Karen. Because of that, an intense stare down between Karen and Hakari occurred. The two demeanors disappeared when our boy noticed that they were trying to kiss him. Rentaro stated that they shouldn't worry because he wanted to kiss them himself. The two are still in a tantrum because they want to claim the first kiss by themselves. Fret not, our boy cooked up the perfect plan for this exact situation. Because ever since they were together he couldn't help but plan their future. His plan was to kiss them without them knowing who got the first kiss. In that way, they'll be both equally to have his first kiss while him being an absolute dickhead. While they were blindfolded, our boy asked them to roll the dice depending on the dice's result, which will be the person he will kiss first. On their first try, our boy accidentally groped Hakari's treacherous mountain. The horn dog Hakari doesn't mind and stated that she was willing to do some S&M play. In their second attempt, a cat saw Karen's panty. The cat gave her a foreplay. Karen misinterpreted it and beat the hell out of our boy. They attempted the act countless times, but they failed all of it until sunset started. Karen is so over it, she stated that the plan is stupid. Hakari, the Rentaro simp, immediately went to his defense and pointed her finger at Karen. Our boy notices that they are fighting, so he apologizes to them and states that he is the one to blame. Everything happened because he was the greatest virgin ever. He ran away like a loser while his two top-tier waifus chased him. The vice principal saw him running in the hallway, so Eiju ran harder for his dear life. But his efforts went to naught. The vice principal pressed him against the floor and was ready to give him a French kiss. Fortunately, Karen arrived and performed her wrestling skill toward the vice principal. Hakari asked for the help of the Board of Education, but the vice principal crawls out like a freaking Spider-Man. The two asked why did he do such a stupid act. He stated that because he doesn't like his two girlfriends to fight. That's why he planned to give it to professional rapists like the vice principal. The two express their frustration toward him and they state that they would rather let their rival kiss him than someone who doesn't love him. Hearing them made our boy really happy. He tightly hugged them and offered a three-way kissing scene. Once again they went back to the rooftop for their long-awaited kissing scene. Rentaro disclaims that the two might kiss each other in the process of it. Later, the three kissed each other as if they were doing a ritual to summon a UFO. Out of nowhere. The next day, the unorthodox couples went to the library. Their business is to learn more about cooking for our hero. While the two were busy reading, our boy met the third candidate, a tiny girl who doesn't seem to have her first period yet. The girl, whose name is Yashimoto Shizuka, revealed that she is the librarian. Shizuka uses the sentences in the book to communicate with our boy. Rentaro, who was willing to spend jail time in exchange for freedom, uses the same technique to communicate with her. It was shown that the little girl is highly introverted, which is why human interaction seemed impossible for her, but she still tried her best to have a conversation with him. Our boy asked her for a romance novel recommendation. They spent their precious time together finding the perfect book for his taste. She gave him a tower of good romance novels which our boy appreciated. Unfortunately for him, it would take a week for his library card to be issued. Seeing how devastated he was, Shizuka offered him the book that she was holding. Her effort made our boy very happy, so he asked for her student ID to know her better. As expected, she's a legal lolicon despite having the appearance of a grade schooler. She's a freshman just like him. Furthermore, Rintaro was shocked when he and the girl were in the same class. Later, Rintaro went back to his girlfriends. The two stated that they were reading a cookbook to find something that would make them happy. At night, Rintaro starts reading the book that Shizuka gave. The book is your typical romance medieval novel where a chivalrous knight would save the princess, and then the two would fall in love with each other. Until one day, a fixed marriage between Allies' royal family and the princess occurred. After that, the stupid novel cliff hung us. A particular word which is fate ran through our boy's head. He realized that one day, he must make a decision on choosing a soulmate. The next morning, Rintaro handed over the book back to Shizuka. While they were talking to each other, our boy noticed that Shizuka brought up the second chapter of the novel. During recess, Rintaro and Shizuka spend their time together where they talk about the novel. Shizuka was glad that he enjoyed the book because that book was her favorite. Shizuka stated that due to her inability to talk with someone, she became a loser who never had a single friend in her entire life. That's why she seeks entertainment by reading books because for her it is her therapy. A glimpse of loneliness is observable in her eyes. After that, Shizuka had a huge smile on her face because for the first time in his life, someone took an interest in her. 2 days later, while she was walking in the hallway, Shizuka saw Rintaro along with Hakari and Karen. While Rintaro is pondering, the first waifu gives our boy a sneak smooch. Of course, Karen did the same thing. Shizuka felt heartbroken, seeing Rintaro happy with other girls. She realized that since he already had a chick, which meant being with him was no longer possible. For her entire life, she was bullied for not being able to talk. But with Rintaro, she felt like she met someone who wouldn't treat her like a liability. At sunset, Rintaro went back to the library to visit her. Rintaro asked her to download an app onto her smartphone. The app has the ebook version of the novel. Using the text-to-speech feature, Shizuka could use it whenever she wishes to talk with. Shizuka couldn't bottle her feelings anymore. She starts crying, and at the same time, she confesses her feelings for him. And there you have it. Our boy achieved getting her third girlfriend without the FBI noticing. Karen felt pissed, but Hakari the simp felt happy because Rintaro is transparent in having a third girlfriend. Our boy promises that he will be equal and will fully satisfy their needs. Despite being a total red flag, the four of them got together thanks to the power of love. Despite being 3 times Shizuka is willing to commit to this tedious relationship. Rintaro introduced Shizuka as the cutest person he ever met. He even finds her mannerisms a cutie. On the other hand, Rintaro introduces Hakari as the hottest chick she met due to her naughtiness. Meanwhile, Karen is this kawaii flat-chested woman who is willing to make the person she loves happy. The three felt extremely embarrassed as our boy kept on describing them. Shizuka couldn't hold her composure. She bluntly asked him if he had already done the 3-way reproduction technique for them. Rintaro assured her that nothing as extreme as that happened because the best thing that they did was only kiss. Shizuka felt jealous as she wanted to be kissed too, but she was not mentally prepared. Rintaro, who is a gentleman, told her that there is no need to rush the process. While the two were having their usual bantering, Rintaro noticed that Shizuka was staying quiet. Fortunately, he had a plan. That's why he offered to play a card game with them. In that way, the awkwardness between them will disappear. Whoever the player that ends up losing will be tickled by the winner. The three accepted his challenge. Our boy took the V while Karen received the punishment. Karen couldn't handle it anymore, so she asked him to pop her cherry right away. In the next round, Hakari received the punishment. Her underwear immediately got wet the moment our boy tickled her. Later, Shizuka received her punishment, which made the two even more fired up as they wished to feel Rintaro's body. Therefore, they were in a battle that they couldn't afford to lose. And then both of them lost and Shizuka got the opportunity to tickle him. The two couldn't believe what they were seeing, because even though Shizuka had the perfect excuse to feel him over, she chose to tickle him by the way of poking. It made them conclude that Rintaro must have been attracted to more feminine women. Therefore, they need to step up their womanhood. Seeing how happy Rintaro was when Rintaro went out for a quick toilet break, Karen destroyed the lighthearted mood in a cringy way. Her ego was hurt because she felt like Shizuka was holding back for them. Shizuka tried to defend herself by saying that's not true at all. But insecurity ran through Karen's veins, She felt offended due to the fact that Shizuka seemed not to care about touching him. She wanted her not to hesitate and touch Rintaro's dong if she wanted to, because the truth is she's one of Rintaro's girlfriends. Shizuka apologized to them, but Karen did not accept it. Shizuka stated that she was petrified with fear, which made Karen cry as she did not mean to hurt an innocent girl. In the end, Shizuka just feels insecure about herself. She thinks that she is no match against the beauty of Hakari and Karen. Karen stated that she's pretty cute herself, so she shouldn't worry. Besides, Rintaro is a horn dog, therefore he will happily accept her as his girlfriend. Because of that, Shizuka gained confidence, and she was able to recognize the beauty of having a legal age yet grade school looking girlfriend. Everything was now settled, and it was official. They were now considering Shizuka as their love rival for Rintaro's love. It turns out Rintaro had planned everything. He was observing them from far away, because he wanted the three to have a deep connection to each other. Rintaro then went back to continue what they left. Shizuka, whose face is as flushed as a tomato, told Rintaro that she was ready to be kissed. It's a harem act. Rintaro fulfilled every man's dream, which is to have multiple kissing scenes in different girls in a single day. With that, Rintaro announced that he was looking forward to spending more time with them. Tomorrow morning their exam results were put on display. While everyone was in line to take a glimpse of the result, Rintaro was searching for his phone. He saw their classmate Ai Nano, who was alone inside the classroom. They looked each other in the eye. Rintaro invited her to come with him to the hallway to look for their exam result, but he got flat out rejected due to Nano's nonchalant behavior. To his shock, Nano got a perfect result, making her the #1 student. Curiosity started running through our boy's head. He asked the three if they knew something about her. Karen revealed that a rumor is spreading about Nano that she is ChatGPT itself. The way she answers questions is quick and precise. Later on, Rintaro and Nano got mixed up in their biology class. The more time Rintaro spends time with her, the more he realizes that she is the real deal, and not your typical TikTok student. Rintaro accidentally cut his finger while he was using a cutter. That's when Nano took her chance. Rintaro thanked her for her help, so she asked her if there was anything that he could do to pay her back. Nano stated that chit-chatting is pointless and a waste of time, because it is inefficient. It would be better to spend that time improving academic grades instead. Rintaro tried to do a rebuttal only for him to be totally roasted by her. That hurt his ego so much, which made him think whether she and him were really soulmates. While she's doing her usual routine, she realizes how promiscuous, but Rintaro is in the middle of his Sigma arc. He stated that he won't let it end like this because he hates being rejected the most. So, once again Rintaro confesses to him. A few days later, Rintaro and Nano went for an amusement park date. On this date, his goal is to show Nano the time of her life. They first went in a carousel where Rintaro took a picture of her using his film camera. When they went inside the haunted house, as expected, Nano remained stoic face. The date went on and the same thing happened time and time again. Nano just couldn't comprehend why it was necessary to do such a normie thing. Inside the Ferris wheel, Rintaro noticed that Nano was afraid of heights. So, he sat beside her and took the opportunity to make a move on her when she was showing her weakness. Sunset arrived and the amusement park was about to close. Nano stated that although she enjoyed the date, she still found it as a waste of time as she did not get any value from it. Rintaro is still grateful for her though, because although she finds the activity meaningless, she gave her time and effort just to be with him. When Rintaro is about to burn the photograph they took, Nano instinctively prevents him from burning it. That made her realize that there is more to life than having a good academic score. She is able to conclude that a fun time is a well-spent time. Once again, Nano confesses her feelings, and this time she wants to be lovey-dovey with him. Rintaro accepted. He wanted her to be one of his collections too. Nano, the Giga Chat, immediately kisses Rintaro, because she believes that kissing him unnoticed will be more efficient. With that, Rintaro and Nano were no official. The next day, Rintaro introduced Nano to the gals as if he was collecting girlfriends is the same as collecting Pokemon. They happily accepted Nano as one of their party members. Rintaro was touched, and he promised that he would give his best to satisfy everyone. Jealous about having a date alone with Rintaro, the three asked if they could have their own date. Rintaro chose the efficient path. He decided that they would all go out this coming weekend. Following day, Rentaro returned to the chemistry lab where he saw the girl, hoping that he would meet her there, only for him to encounter another lolicon. The loli introduced herself and her name was Yakuzan Kusuri. Kisuri offered her tea but was shocked when the tea was inside a beaker, but she insisted because she just finished developing this tea-looking drug. While he was drinking, Kisuri presented the drug she made, which is a human magnet drug. With enough persuasion, Rintaro agreed. To his surprise, the drug actually worked, and his body started attracting metals. Kusuri then revealed that the drug also has a side effect, which is constipation for the next 3 days. In addition, Kusuri demonstrated that when someone drinks the drug with the opposite pole as his, it will cause an opposite attraction. Rentaro tried his best not to hit the poor little girl with his ding-dong. Kusuri realized that the magnetism was stronger than what she expected. But fret not, because it would only last for approximately 10 minutes. Her bladder started acting up, stating she needed to pee. But he shouldn't worry though, because she's wearing a diaper. After she peed, something within Rentaro rises, and it's not the shield hero. Later, the effect wears off, as Rentaro observes how happy Kusuri is when she's talking about the drugs she made. He realizes that he fell in love with her. It turns out that Kusuri knew everything about it because she made him drink a love potion when he arrived. Rentaro tried his best to remove the drug from his body, which made him cry, stating that she must have hated being in love with her. Rentaro said that wasn't the case, he just didn't want to accept her feelings when he was drugged out, because he wanted to be genuine when accepting her feelings. Rentaro then started experiencing a seizure due to his body rejecting the drug. She offered her to drink the neutralizer, but he wasn't able to due to his state. So, she decided to give it to her using her mouth. Rentaro recovered not long after that. But she's feeling down because the love potion she made was gone. But Rentaro assured her that he still loved her, despite not having the help of the love potion. Because of the neutralizer, the little girl returned to her original state. It turns out that she is the same red-haired hot Mamma Mia soulmate he saw. She revealed that she is a 3rd year, therefore she is his senpai. Red-haired, big melon, with intellect, sounds like the best waifu for me. Anyways, Rentaro met up with the gals to introduce her to everyone as her new Pokemon. This time he did not receive any negative reaction because they already knew his lover boy behavior. Rentaro introduced her as someone who loves drugs, which made Karen thinks that Rentaro had fallen in love with a crackhead. Kusuri offered Karen a boing boing drug that could help her to grow her chest. It turns out that Rentaro told her about Karen's insecurity. Because of that, Karen gave him the walls of Jericho, but Kusuri revealed how much Rentaro loves her, so she calmed down. Kusuri offered her a drug that would make her 10 times hotter, which she did not hesitate to drink. It turns out that she meant it semantically, which resulted in her clothes melting. So, Rentaro offered his own sweater. The medicine that Kusuri gave to Shizuka gave her bunny ears, which turned on Rentaro. Later on, Kusuri offered them to join their club so she could make more shady drugs. Kusuri went out for a quick toilet break, but before she left she noted that the tea for boys and girls is different. But they still drank the wrong tea. The moment Kusuri went back, everything was already messed up. The girls turned into a kissing zombie-looking machine. Kusuri stated that they needed to cure them as soon as possible or they would lose their sanity. The girls then launched at him. The two hurried back to the chem lab to start making a neutralizer. As they were about to head to the lab, the kissing zombies blocked them. Left with no choice, they took the longer route to the lab. As they ran away, the final boss showed up, which is the principal who wanted to tongue kiss our boy for running in the hallway. Kusuri was frightened, so she used a melting acid to the vice principal. The acid did not work at all. The vice principal revealed that her makeup protected her face. Still, she left as she didn't want to show them her true form. The hot zombies split up trying to pincer our boy and Kusuri. So, he used himself as bait while Kusuri headed to the lab to make the neutralizer. Shizuka tripped as she tried to follow him, so he came back to check on her. She took him to the infirmary to treat her wounds, but Shizuka pinned him down. His Excalibur started activating, but he realized that it was November, so he left without nutting. As he runs, the two manage to catch up to him and pin him down. The two suddenly fight each other, so he takes his chance to make them kiss each other. They start making love to each other, so he uses that chance to escape. Finally, Rentaro had arrived at the lab. Inside he saw Nano, so he hid inside a locker. To his surprise, Kusuri was only inside, stating that she also saw Nano when she entered the lab. Rentaro concluded that Nano knew they were about to head to the lab, as her intelligence helped her to do that. Kusuri started having a mental breakdown. She revealed that because of her experiments, she caused trouble for everyone, which resulted in being the only member of the chemistry club. It turns out that Kusuri has one more neutralizer in his pocket. She drank the neutralizer, which shocked Rentaro because he could use it to nano like a Safari Zone from Pokemon. Kusuri's plan is to head to the lab with her original form, thinking that Nano won't recognize her. But Nano finds her suspicious, so she ties her up. Rentaro did his best to run away from Nano, but Nano cornered him. Nano kisses him. It looks like it's already the end of the anime where everyone turned into perverted simps. Fortunately, Kisari arrives and gives Nino a neutralizer. Rentaro stated that it was all according to his plan because he knew Kisari's body was about to shrink, which could give them an opening. Not long after that, Rentaro and Kusari also managed to cure the others. They were unaware of what had just happened. Kusari apologized to everyone. Because of her silly mistake, she turned them into a zombie kiss machine. Rentaro cheered her up because, in the end, it was also her medicine that cured them. Rentaro promises that whatever mistakes that Kusari makes in the future, he will fix them no matter what. So he told her not to give up on her research, saying the cliché line that the reason he loved her was because of her passion for drugs. Because of that, Kusari gained assurance and Rentaro gained a woman. Everyone went to the local park for a good time. But then a siren got their attention, announcing the bouquet tossing event. Hikari invited everyone to participate as it is a special event, and whoever catches the bouquets will have an opportunity for a photo shoot wearing a wedding dress adorned with the park's flowers. Hikari is eager to win the event because it's her opportunity to fulfill her dream of wearing a wedding dress. A massive crowd gathered for the event. We then saw a group of bodybuilders led by a gorilla woman. The woman stated that they must win at all costs. Hikari realized that winning would not be an easy feat, so she suggested working together and then drawing lots to pick who gets the photo shoot. Everyone agreed to her terms. Rentaro suggested that Shizuka should stay back as her frail body was no match against Mr. Olympia's. Rentaro created their own flag named the Rentaro family. Not long after that, the game begins. The announcer announced that physical attacks are extremely prohibited. The announcer introduced everyone to the special guest. It was none other than Amber Heard. The event starts and the vice principal throws the bouquet. The gang started assaulting the other participants. The leader commented that they were only practicing their judo skill, therefore they weren't breaking the rules. Karen saved Hikari from further harm. She claims that she wanted to participate in their training and duels with the leader. Karen stated that she would handle their leader and they should focus on getting the bouquet. The gang created a massive whirlwind, causing the bouquet to head over the gang's side. But Shizuka arrived to save the day and grabbed the bouquet. As she was about to fall, the girls used their oppies as a cushion, which helped Rentaro to catch her. They were about to draw the lots on whoever will participate in the photo shoot. Hikari is one step ahead of them though. She marked the winning draw. In the end, Hikari won the draw. Finally, her dream of wearing a wedding dream is about to come true. However, she saw Kisari crying, so she offered her the draw instead. That made everyone worried about Hikari, as she is not the type of person to give someone the W. After Kusari cheered up, she stated that she wanted Hikari to enjoy the photo shoot herself. So, Hikari offered everyone to join the photo shoot. With that, everyone had a picture together. Without any context, Hikari asked Rentaro to break up with her. After the photo shoot, Hikari left unnoticed. The lady revealed that a car came by and picked her up. Rentaro went to her house and learned that she lived in a mansion. Hikari saw him, so he called him. She stated that she didn't feel the spark anymore, so he could leave. Rentaro knew that she was lying. It turns out that her mother knew everything. She wanted her daughter to stay away from a playboy like Rentaro. Additionally, her mother had already arranged for Hikari to move out and transfer school. Her mother caught them and asked Rentaro to never show up again, or she would be forced to take him out. The guards saw him and asked him to leave immediately. However, our lover boy is a stubborn one. He wanted to at least let him explain his side. We then get to see a glimpse of her mother. She stated that if he kept being stubborn, she would be forced to send him somewhere far away. Hikari begged not to hurt Rentaro and she was willing to obey her command. Rentaro left the household heartbroken. He realized that he was just a powerless kid who hadn't any power. After a lot of self-pity, he regained his composure. At night, he informed his other chicks about his situation. He told them that he wanted to sneak into the mansion and take her away. Nano thinks logically and states that he will never succeed. Still, he is adamant about his decision because he wants to make Hikari happy. Seeing how serious Rentaro was, everyone participated in helping him to bring Hikari back. Later on, they sneak into the mansion. Rentaro plans to throw a ball to get Hikari's attention. Rentaro missed the mark, but then they saw that a cat seemed to be playing with the ball. Nino hypothesizes that taking out the cat's life will be the most efficient method. However, Rentaro stopped her before it could happen. They immediately hid when they heard a patrol guard. Because of that, retrieving the ball will be impossible. So, they have no choice but to go straight to Hikari's room. Thanks to Nano's burglar skills, they managed to open the door undetected. Rentaro noticed that Nano hurt herself in the process of opening the door, but she stated that she was fine because she herself wanted to do her best to save Hikari. When they entered, they were greeted by a guard dog. While everyone had managed to run away, Shizuka on the other hand got cornered by the dog. To their surprise, the dog is harmless as it only wishes to play with them. Nano stated that it must have been the case of a dog's instinct to protect someone fragile. Nano suggested that Shizuka should take her chance to decapacitate the dog. That's when Kusari stepped up and asked them to let her handle it. She plans to use a sleeping drug on the dog. Kusari gave the drug to Shizuka, but instead, our favorite Loli drank the potion by herself. The dog licked the leftover drug, causing it to also sleep. After exploring the mansion for a while, they entered a corridor. The Giga Cat accidentally triggered the alarm. Luckily, they managed to hide from their sight. They thought that the cat had accidentally triggered the sensor. It turns out that the corridor has an infrared sensor. Fortunately, our chemist brought infrared vision eye drops. Rentaro had already used it when Kusari warned him that he wouldn't be able to see anything other than infrared. Kusari accidentally dropped an envelope. In the envelope, Nano noticed that a foreign address was written in the envelope. She realized that she planned to use the eye drop as an application to join a foreign pharmaceutical company. Yet she decided to use the eye drop to save Hakari. She stated that it is all because Hakari is her precious friend. When he opens his sexy eyes, he realizes that getting through is impossible because the sensors are everywhere. But he noticed that there was no sensor on the ceiling. So, Nano proposes a plan. She tied Rentaro and Karen together in a 69 position. As they tried to get through, Karen felt something rising, and again it was not the shield hero. Not long after that, they managed to get a breakthrough. Rentaro asked them to back out and let him and Karen handle everything. There, they saw Hakari crying, but then the alarm suddenly triggered. The guards had cornered them and brought them to Hakari's mother. The moment I saw the mom, I wanted to be her soulmate too. Anyways, name is Hanazono. Despite being shameless 5 times her daughter, our boy asked if she could get her blessings. Of course, as any mother would, she thinks that Rentaro is making an empty promise. Hanazono states she was 13 years old when she gave birth to Hakari. Because her father is doomed to die, that's why she decides to make a baby to keep the sake of their love. She adds that as her mother, she doesn't want Hakari to be hopelessly blind in love just like her. That's why she decided that she must protect her at all costs, even if it means cutting all of the people she met. She's even more rage when she realizes that her own daughter has fallen in love with a 5-timing man. Hearing that story made him cry, so he promises her not to make Hakari cry, even if it kills him. An absolute WTF moment when Kusari's drug had subsided. That soulmate spark had occurred, indicating that Hanazono and our boy were soulmates. She is indeed Hakari's mother because she immediately confesses her feelings. Yet another waifu got added to the roster. Rentaro couldn't reject her at all. Hanazono tried to brush it off and stated that it was only a joke. Later on, she presented a very accurate lie detector to determine whether our boy was indeed telling the truth. The lie detector will be the greatest test to test his faithfulness toward Hakari. Rentaro isn't a fool, though he wanted proof to deem whether the device is trustworthy. Hanazono uses Karen as the test subject because using his own people won't be convincing. Hana asked the question we all wanted to know. She asked what is her cup size. She stated that she was almost a C cup, but the lie detector stated that she was lying. Because of that, changed her answer into a cup, to which the lie detector states that she's telling the truth. Hana asked her whether she loved Rentaro. Karen replied, yes, I do, but the lie detector states that she's lying. That's when Karen revealed the truth, that a single I do wasn't enough to express her feelings, but instead, she confesses that she loves him a whole darn lot, which the lie detector found that she's telling the truth. Rentaro uses the lie detector too and states that he feels the same way as Karen, and as we expected, he is indeed telling the truth. With that, Rentaro is now ready for the hot seat. Hana was shocked when Rentaro aced the test despite being a 5-timer. She tried to brush it off, stating that there was no way she would believe a simple machine. That made Karen angry because the machine just took all of her dignity. They then started rushing in, informing them that Hakari was about to throw herself out of the window. Karen holds Hana off and states that Rentaro should meet up with her. Rentaro left while the two argued about who loved Hakari more. Rentaro arrives, telling her to escape with him. Hakari is being stubborn. She notes that he would be in trouble if he stays with her. Rentaro explains that he won't be happy knowing that the person he loves will die. He expresses his feelings toward her once again, and Hakari replies that she felt the same way, but then she accidentally fell. Fortunately, Rentaro reacted just in time to save her. Rentaro refuses to let her go, causing both of them to fall. Just before the worst thing happened, Rentaro managed to kick the wall, and then landed in the fountain. Shizuka tried to save them, but instead, she was the one who needed to be saved. To see a man who is willing to die for the person he loves made Hana conclude that his love is indeed genuine. She tells him to take care of her daughter for her as she doesn't want to see her suffer anymore. Rintaro knew how much Hana loved her daughter. He promises that he'll make them both happy. Rintaro accepted Hanazono's confession. With that, we now have a mother-daughter double whopper. Since it was already late, Hana allowed them to spend the night in their household. The women take their bath together and start comparing their holy grails. Karen finds it ridiculous, so she leaves the bath. Karen meets up with Rintaro, where Rintaro is caught off guard when he sees Karen's small waistline. The long-awaited sex is about to occur, but unfortunately, it was cut short when Kusuri arrived. So, they started doing push-ups to improve their health. Hanazono invites everyone to a pajama party. Rintaro got a glimpse of heaven when he saw them in their pajamas. Hanazono got too worked up, resulting in a headache. So, Rintaro assisted him to her room. Hana stated that she was getting too wet, so she offered him to her room. Fast forward, we get to see the two seem to be enjoying their time together. While they were playing Old Maid, Hikari was feeling agitated because they might be doing a miracle. So, they immediately went inside Hanazono's room only to see her lying in the group with a hot chick. It turns out that the chick is Rintaro himself. Do not worry though, is because as long as there is a hole, there is a way. Rintaro collapses due to severe embarrassment. Hana comes up with a plan. She dresses Nano up as a prince, stating that a prince's kiss will surely resurrect a princess. Nano kisses him and the women enjoy the gender bender kissing scene. Rintaro had enough and went out to take a bath. However, the girls decided to peep while he was in the bath. Shizuka tried to stop them, but they restrained her, stating that they were one step away from achieving spiritual freedom. Rintaro thought that there was a ghost inside the mansion, but he was unaware that the so-called ghost was Kusuri. Kusuri informed them that they messed up, so they pulled her back. Rintaro, on the other hand, tried to finish his business as quickly as possible. They executed the plan B, where they would use the attic to take a peek, only for them to get startled when the white cat came by. Once again, Rintaro misinterpreted it as the voice of the ghost. Meanwhile, Shizuka is trying her best to prevent Rintaro from being defiled. The dog pushes her off, causing her to fall off and head straight to the bath, where she sees Rintaro's asset. Because of that, Shizuka passed out, and when Rintaro tried to carry her away, she saw the gals getting down from the attic. They managed to make the perfect excuse, but Karen's tsundere attitude blew their cover. Later, Rintaro saw Hana offering her prayers to his ex-husband. Rintaro asked why she had not married another man when he passed away. She revealed that it was because she was still in love with him, therefore she didn't deserve to find another man. He stated that she could love them both, so there's no need to forget him. Rintaro kisses her in front of the Hikari's father's urn. Thanks to that, we now had an NTR route. While everyone was asleep, or so we thought, Karen knew that Hikari was planning to do something while they were asleep. Her demeanor disappears when she realizes that Hikari is only looking for comfort. Later on, Hikari and Karen made love to each other while they were half asleep. Rintaro went out for a quick toilet break when he saw Hikari's father, who was mad for two-timing his wife and daughter. Rintaro is happy that he got to meet the father and the husband of his girlfriends. Rintaro assured that he would make both of them happy, so he could rest assured. Hikari's father stated that he had been looking for them for the last 16 years, and that's why he wanted to thank her for entangling Hana's heart. Rintaro offered to let him watch the two from now so he could rest in peace. The kind spirit smiled and agreed to his proposal. Rintaro said that he wanted to thank him for making Hana happy and bringing Hikari into this world. Suddenly, the kind spirit went Super Saiyan. It turns out it is because he was such a good boy that all of his regrets are being blown away. The kind spirit disappeared along with his regrets in life. The next morning, Hana announces that from now on, she will be the new person in their school. Our boy had finished collecting all of her 6 starting Pokémon. She even caught a legendary MILF in the process. Thanks for watching, fellow weebs. If you enjoyed this recap, dive into the next video or playlist. See you in the next recap.